Yeah, I actually had to add YouTube back end. So let's see if YouTube is. Yeah,
You're probably on a different server.
yeah. Well, I don't know. It was very weird.
Yeah, gotta update the keys sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So let me throw this back in. All right. So hopefully, I was wondering why we didn't have any like chat or anything going on there. Especially after that really funny joke. So
It's
I know
okay.
you didn't find it funny. I know
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
okay.
find it
Sorry,
funny.
I'm in a bad mood. Like, it's not you.
That's all right. Well, I mean that happens. I mean, I think it's interesting. I really find it interesting that a lot of people think that couples do not fight, and obviously, they do.
Oh no, it's not it. It's not really fight. It's just I got home and he got home, and because I said, well, like what to me today, I was supposed to do some dog walking tonight, but like the lady canceled because she obviously couldn't read that. No, you gotta bring your dog here. I'm not gonna drive 8 miles to walk your dog for like $20. That's not how it
Yeah,
works. And like I wrote it down on my profile, and he's like, why don't you just get a real job? And like he just got like really like snapped at me, and I'm just like, I was just telling you something, like, how people never read the goddamn
sure.
description. It's
Yeah,
like one of those, like you're on eBay. It's like, well, this item's used. It's like, well, I wrote it was used. Did you read the description? Obviously not. Then there's another one of those. And he just kind of snapped
yeah.
at me. Why don't you just get a real job? We've been here for 2 years. You haven't had a freaking real job yet. Like, I have to take care of everything. I'm like, okay, somebody slept 1 hour last night.
Yeah. Things like that happen. It's it. I when I was younger, I have to go back a little ways here, but I never. There were times I was out of work that people got really fed up with me for sure. Um, and that's why
Yeah,
one of the
but
reasons.
is it kind of different if you're like 28 and your boyfriend is 50? Like,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
a
probably.
guy, I'm a chick.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have a boyfriend, so that would have been the first thing that was uh,
Yeah,
that was different. So yeah,
you'd be
no, I get
surprised.
it.
Like, gay dudes be like generous as hell, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. Josie,
Just
that's a tough.
venting.
It's a tough one, that's for sure. And
No, it's just because
the
he was like, what are you doing? Like, doing your own stuff. I was like, creating content and all the stuff that I usually do. Is like, well, what do you do? There's no content anywhere. I'm like, yeah, there is. Like, if you wanted to see it, it's right there. And it's like, the kind of thing that like you just, Mister just didn't sleep well. So
yeah,
there's no good answer. So the
sure.
best thing you can do is to like not answer and take Enzo for a walk. It's like,
Okay.
I don't want to argue, but it's like when he keeps asking again and again and again, repeat the question until I start arguing. He's like, well, don't argue with me. Like, well, you kept asking the question over and over again. It's like, if you don't want me to argue, don't re-ask me the question a million times. Because
Yeah,
it's like you're trying to pull it out of me now. Not fair.
yeah. I think that there's a lot of in today it's really hard. No matter what you do, if you're trying to make it on one person's salary or two people's salary or whatever, it's just hard.
He
I
has a
watch.
stressful job.
Like um, so I talked about my buddy who has the really horrible girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
And
that bitch.
Yeah. Oh man, Psycho. And he's broken up with her again, and this
Good.
time, I helped him out again, and we
Well,
were talking about it a couple of nights ago, and we're talking about how you know this poor guy, he's had so many things go wrong in his life, or not even go wrong, but just he's his mom passed, his dad passed first, then his brother, self-deleted. Uh, at first became an alcoholic, and then he self-deleted, I guess, and then his mom passed, and all of these things. Guy's alone in the world. He has like no family whatsoever. All of his friends are married or don't have time for him anymore because that's what happens as you get older. Your friends, you either have friends that are married, or you have single friends that are only your friends because you go to the same place at the same time, and that's it.
yeah,
And
acquaintances.
yeah, and um, so we were talking about it. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you have no idea, because he's digging his way out, right? Like she put him in a really big hole. He lost basically everything in the space of about a year and a half, and you know, um, so I guess
Sorry, you have a struck.
she's I guess she's
Wow.
making her own money now, but he's still really stressed. He's still digging his own way out, and
What do you mean
he's
digging
been
his own way out?
well, he was so far in debt, right?
Oh, and that. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was so far in debt, and he was so far um and he was emotionally in debt too, right? Like he was just so hung up on her. She's got a kid that he really, that the kid is like, I guess, a good kid, and he likes the kid, and she uses that kid against him, and I think he's every time he says that he's out of it, he's like, I I still get drugged back in, and they're not even having sex or anything. Like they're not sleeping together. I'm not sure what he really gets out of it other than a beating, a mental one. Not, I don't think she's physically beating him up, but and so I told him, I'm like, you gotta be really in today's age. I think no matter what you do, any kind of relationship you have, you just kind of got to be prepared for some bad times, and like, and I don't know, I think your deal's probably very minor, your boyfriend's wrong side of the bed, maybe, well, I mean, I tell you, it's just about the first, and all the bills come due, and it gets kind of stressful when you sit down to write out all the checks, I don't care who you are, when you when
Well,
you're
I
sitting there
think
writing out the
also most guys is like if you have one bad night of sleep and you have a stressful job and like you already have anger issues, like
just compounds, right? Just
it
just
snaps. Like
stacks,
it's like I'm
stacks.
not even surprised anymore.
Yeah,
But it's just like it's
yeah,
not even that. It's just that it's like okay, I'll just go for a walk.
yeah.
That's I'm not somebody that gets into fights. I'm more like I can tell you like one thing that I've noticed that I learned that my mom doesn't do, and I've noticed because like my mom started um, doing that, and I
Hmm.
noticed something that I don't do at all is when the guy actually says something and you like argue back. I've really learned to just let it go, just say okay, and like not say anything because that is so how arguments start. There's never anything good out of it. Or like correcting somebody. That sometimes it's like if it's not worth it, just shut up. Just take
Hmm.
the L, you know?
Well, I don't know that you need. I don't know if you need to be quite that hard on you, but I mean, yeah, I mean it.
Huh?
Things compound. things kind of stack up, right? Like not a lot of sleep, might not be feeling that well, already in a bad mood. It just stacks up. So, just let it go and
Yeah,
move
because the
on.
job
And
he does, the job he does is pretty stressful too. So it's
sure,
like
yeah,
you can make anywhere from like $1,400 a month all the way to the seven figures.
that's fairly stressful.
So yeah, so it's like it's never the same, and if it hits like 1,400, that's like not
It's a
good.
bad month.
Well, he doesn't really do that, but there's also like performance
Hmm.
that you need. Otherwise, it's like nobody wants to do business with you and stuff. So fine.
Hmm.
It's like he wants to
Yeah.
cross. He doesn't. No, the cars are not gonna stop for him because he's
Mhm.
sassy like that. You're
Yeah.
sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that.
Dogs are like that.
And at the same time, it's like I can't even. Like, how hypocrite would that be of me to be mad at somebody for having like anger issues?
I
I
wasn't gonna
can't
say that.
be mad at
I
that.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say it out loud.
And that's like
But
one of the things that like we were good friends for, because every time we would get,
your
oh my god,
phone's
there's somebody more
freezing up.
mad than I am in the room. So it's kind of like, well, I can't really get mad because I do the same shit. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay. I can relate. You're good. Like, I'm over it.
Your yeah, your phone's kind of freezing up there, but that's okay. It's all right.
We might lose
Yeah.
signal over here.
Oh, you're losing signal in LA? How does that even happen? It's like the cell phone capital of the world. Well, there we
Between
go.
houses.
Between
No,
houses.
some
That's crazy.
because it's
That's
T-Mobile.
crazy.
I have T-Mobile.
I have T-Mobile. It
T-Mobile.
works great. Yeah, I have T-Mobile. T-Mobile works great here, but I don't know about anywhere else.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to head out. I might be able to join back on, just on
Yeah, yeah,
voice.
that's no problem. I'm just gonna. I've got some stuff to kind of go over anyway, so that works out. That checks. So,
All right.
all right,
I
well,
got
cool. All right, thanks, Josie. All right, let me go ahead and there we go. Back to just me. How about that? All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Josie joined us for a little while and gave us some insight into her day. Yes, Josie is a sweetheart, Jess. She comes off kind of gruff and rough, but I think that Josie is actually really a good person. So, which I didn't always think that. I actually, kind of thought that the gruff and rough thing was real, and I'm glad that it's not. So, so you guys missed the Alien versus Predator thing that's going on. I don't know if you guys have heard this. This is really funny. So apparently, someone made I'm assuming that this was a guy made a joke about giving undocumented aliens citizenship for if they hunted down SA offenders. So you have Alien versus Predator, right? Isn't that cool? I thought that was hilarious. I still think that's hilarious. I think that's the best joke I've heard in a long time. I wish I could find the clip. I can't find the clip, but it is funny, it is hilarious, it's great. It's so good. It's just really good. Every time AVP, man, and they get citizenship, which means they have to pay taxes, which is great. Love it, love it, love it. All right, what else are we going to talk about now that Josie has exited for a short time? I'm sure she'll be back, and we'll just go ahead and why don't we talk about some money stuff? That money's always good, right? Everybody likes money. So there's a couple of things I think that that you know when the average person thinks about money, I feel like that there's this like stigma of either just save everything and don't spend anything or buy everything on credit. And there's really not like this in between. And I think that you, at some point, the real trick to um, the real trick to managing any money of any kind is understanding where you are and where you want to go, and then you can figure out how you're going to get there. if if you're and the better a description you have of where you are and where you want to be, the better that description, the better off you are, the more focused you can be about it, and the more successful you're likely to be. Now obviously, look, it's money, comes and goes like water, and sometimes you cannot predict such things. However, um, I'm going to give you an example of something I'm doing right now. And something I'm doing right now is um, I am doing I'm considering buying a business. And it's a medium sized business. And for most people, a medium sized business means that under 100 people. Okay. Although the government, I think, considers under 100 a small business. To me, it's a medium sized business. Um, Potential of making somewhere between, I don't know, 2 to 3 million a year, maybe a little more. It might get up into the 5 or 10 million range a year. Um, but you got to start somewhere. Uh, so technically, I guess it's a small business. I feel like it's more medium just based on potential revenue. So the and this business is something that's very interesting because it deals with a couple of concepts that I don't think people consider often enough when they're looking at things to invest in. And I tell people all the time that look around, look in your area, talk to the people you know, and the people that are about to, you know, kind of make it. A lot of times, those people they need a little extra funding. They need a little bit of extra cash. They need, or they'll need something, right? And if you can help with that, that becomes part of your investment, and their success is your success, and you make money, hopefully. So in this case, what I'm looking at is it's an airplane company. I'm not going to say which one. I'm not even going to tell you what space they're in, really, but they're in aviation, and um, there are new rules that are coming out that take effect. I want to say they take effect in August. That's typically when they do. I could be wrong about that. Nobody sue me if I am. When that company goes in, or when that law goes into effect, this company will be among the first to market with a product that suits the new rules. And this is basically kind of like what Tesla did way back when, right? They created an electric car that nobody really wanted, but they got some subsidy from the government and they got a lot of investors. And those investors pumped money after money after money after money. I remember I looked at buying Tesla at one point. It was like pennies on the dollar for the stock, and I should have done it, but I didn't because it was such a bad bet. What I didn't know, but what Tesla did know, is that this guy named Elon Musk was about to take over. And he did. And once he took over, and what he saw was a company that had already had the technologies, already had done the groundwork, and they just needed more capital and someone to get that capital and someone to drive that forward. And it's now one of, if not the most successful EV companies in the world. And people who got in really early made a metric ass load of money. I'm pretty sure I can say that on YouTube. And so, whether it's a new bridle for a horse or a new way to haul hay or a new way of carrying motorcycle gear, whatever it is, especially if it deals with a law that goes into place, right? Like anytime that the government is going to come in and deregulate or regulate something, and a lot of times it's deregulation these days because we've been overregulated for so long. When they come in and deregulate something or change the regulations to allow something else, if whoever is in place with the technology that works is going to clean up, and if you can invest in that, you'll make some money. And you shouldn't try and time the market, but you should always be looking for these sort of things. Years ago, I missed and I knew it was going on. I followed this stuff and I was just like, man, I know what's going on here. It was with Motorola. Motorola was about to split. I knew they were about to split, and they were going to, and they were, not only were they going to split the stock, they were also going to split the company. And I knew that they were going to do that because I pay attention to that kind of thing. And at the time, I was very much into the radio market because we used them in the race cars, and we were always doing repeaters. And I talked to the guys, the tech guys from Motorola, and all of that all the time. And so I kind of knew what was going on. Not really insider information. Anybody, this was just scuttlebutt, if you will. But I knew what was going to happen, and I chickened out. I got cold feet. I could have bought Motorola right before they split. I didn't. It sucks so bad. So, and I'm using a stock. A business is the same thing, and sometimes it can be just as something, it can be just something as small as, a guy's about to get a contract with um, four of the local dairy farms, and he needs five new milk trucks. And if you have the money or you have some, whatever pull to help him get those trucks, and then you're an investor now, and you own part of that company. So I think that most people don't think this way. Most people think about investments as gold coins in the bank in their steel box under the bed or in a bank vault somewhere in a safety deposit box, as cliche as that is. That stocks, which stocks can be great, you got to really research, man. I mean, the guys that make money in stocks are not guys that just wake up one morning and read an article in the Financial Times. It's just, I mean, you might make some money, but the guys that make money every day at it, they live it, they breathe it. So it takes a. I don't do it anymore because, well, there are reasons I can't do it because of um, conflict of interest. But um, I don't do stocks, but I pay attention to stocks, even though I can't play. And I'm telling you, there's if you have the time and the effort, then stocks can make you a ton of money. If you don't have the time and effort, you're not going to make any money, and you may lose. You may lose a lot. So these kind of investments, I don't like. I like local businesses. I like hard asset purchases, or pay for a year's worth of payroll or whatever. Whatever you can do. I like that stuff. And what and if you can't do that, and consider this, a lot of guys will talk on the internet about insurance policies. And it's very popular now to talk about how you buy this $2 million insurance policy, you pay on it for a year, or you have enough money saved up, you have 100 grand saved up. So you put 100 grand towards the insurance policy, which buys you in so far. And as long as you have that policy, you can borrow against it, and you can get all of this. You can do all of these neat things. But the reality is that there's no way that you can, if you can't afford to go to a bank and get a loan for the money. Getting the loan from your insurance policy is a bad idea. If you can't go to the bank and get a loan, let's say you're trying to get a $200,000 loan for whatever, and you have that available in this insurance policy that you've had for 5 or 10 years. It's a bad idea to take that money out if you can go to a bank and get, well, hold on. If you can't go to a bank and get that money, it's a bad idea to pull it out of your insurance policy. The advantage to pulling that money out of the insurance policy is that you don't have to pay interest on it in most cases, and you just pay the loan, you just pay it back as you can, and or never pay it back, and it just doesn't count. You just don't have that money at the end of the policy. On the other side of that, if you do have to pay, if you can't afford to pay that money back, then you shouldn't be taking a loan anyway. But um, if you can't afford to borrow the money from a bank or an agency like that, then you probably shouldn't be taking the money out either. So it's a don't buy into the internet hype on that. But it is a good investment to buy a really, like a $2 million insurance policy. It costs you 30 grand a year for, or not, maybe not 30 grand a year. I don't know what you have to look at you have to talk to an agent, but you can pay it over 5 or 6 or whatever years. And at the end of it, there's 2 million, you have a $2 million policy that once you get past a certain age, you can start withdrawing money from. And I think that you can draw, generically depending on how you've got it set up, once you get into your, say, 50s or 60s, you can withdraw $150,000 a month until you're like 90 years old or 100 years old off of that policy. Now, it's not inflation proof, so it's just 150 grand a month, and that's a lot of money. Or it may, in the future, it may not be. So, but you can't. Don't buy into the hype on the insurance policy. It is a good financial plan to have one, and I suggest that you get one if you can. And and speaking of credit, I don't know if you guys know the story of the first credit card. The first credit card is really interesting. So in about 1950, um, there's a guy named Frank McNamara, McNamara, whatever. And he was a businessman, fairly well off, I would assume. And he had forgotten his wallet while he was out to dinner in New York. And he and his business partner, Ralph Schneider, eventually ended up um, creating what we now know as the Diners Club, which I think became Diners Club International or whatever. And it was a way to pay at the restaurants they went to without carrying cash. And then that was the first credit card that was issued. And it was actually a really pretty good idea and very interesting that, just the guy being annoyed decided to actually create an entire industry and probably one of the more well known credit cards of all time. So it's pretty interesting. And let's see what else. What else can we talk about? All right. Um, so let's see. So what else is on my list? Don't really have that much more. Still talk about some money. I think I've already covered all the student loan interest stuff. I think student loans right now are just a really really bad idea, and I think that you're better off going into the trades. You're better off going into a nursing program. You're better off going into almost anything else where you can either work your way into your degree or job or certification, or you get paid for your education and just you take a test at you just do your job every day and eventually take a test on how to do it. And this will probably be a really short stream tonight because without Josie on board, we were going to do a react show where I was going to react to this video. I still haven't seen it yet, so Josie will eventually tell me how I'm supposed to do that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else really cool. We could tell some really cool race car stories, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what else. kind of drawing a blank tonight. It's kind of going flying tomorrow. Going flying will be cool tomorrow in the morning. Um, Good day for it. Should be good weather and get some time in the air and put that few more hours in the logbook towards the inevitable private pilot's license. All right. I don't see anyone. I mean, I just see Jess in the chat, so there's nobody really asking any questions or anything. So that's interesting. Um, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, I don't know, guys. Um, Jess is listening. Okay, Jess, I'm glad you're listening. There's a very interesting discussion in the Discord tonight about marriage and the a Christian marriage, particularly, and the disqualifiers that may come out about that. Give me one sec, guys. What do you want? No, dude, no, because you've already been on all night. Go to bed and take a shower. All right, sorry guys. That is my now teenage son wanting more internet. He's been on the internet since he got home from school, and that's plenty. So he will now go to bed, take a shower, and that's the end of that. The end of the day. Um, so, Rye Guy, what would be your advice for retirement savings? Retirement savings. All right. So here's the thing I like about retirement. So first of all, I think an insurance policy is a great way to save for retirement. It I think that if so, or Rye Guy, are you talking like Roths or certificate? What do you are you looking at somebody in a corporate job? What are you talking about here? Help me out. Okay, well, all right. So while he's taking a couple of minutes to respond, um, so for the most part, I think that as much money as you can get needs to go into some form of tax shelter ish retirement account, Roth IRA. There's a couple of other investment vehicles. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. You, I don't. So there's you can get your 401k, Roth IRA, max out, um, all of that. Um, I like usually I like I bonds. I don't know that they're a really good buy right now because I bonds, they're linked to, um, they're linked to inflation to some degree, so they're kind of inflation proof. But you have to roll them over manually, basically every year. But I do like them. I think, man, you're limited to I think like 15 grand. You can't buy $100,000 of them or anything. But I think they're great. I think I don't know. I'd have to check right now because I haven't checked in a while. Um, because they are linked to the inflation rate. If you can never lose money on them is a great thing, but you may not just make as much interest. But if you had bought an I like we did, I bought an I bond when the interest rate was like 2.7%, and it went all the way to 6%, and that was great. We're making a really good return on that I bond, on all those I bonds. But again, you got to read the rules, and pretty much I think most families can only get about 40 grand in I bonds. So you're not going to make a ton of money, but if you do it every year and you do it tactically when you know that the interest rate's going to more than likely go up, um, versus when you buy them, they're a great buy. And I think that learning about the different variations of bonds that you can buy is very important because a lot of people just think there's one bond, there's that, and that's it, and you just buy that and stick it away. But really, the government issues several different types of bonds at different times, and I think that you just do a little bit of research and a little bit of reading, and you can make some, you can just add to the stack, right? Yeah, exactly. For someone in your 20s, how much would you say is reasonable to be putting in retirement? So you're not going to like this answer. I think every dollar you don't need to live. If you're in your 20s, every dollar you don't need to live or grow, it needs to go in retirement. Nobody's going to like this answer because people aren't me. I never drank, smoked, did drugs. I didn't go to bars. I didn't party. My literally all I did in my 20s and 30s is work. I didn't take a vacation. You know, I mean, there's a saying. I love this saying, by the way. And I think it's very fitting. I want to deliver this in the manner in which it deserves. If you really want to if you really want to get somewhere, you need to live like others won't today so that you can live like others can't tomorrow. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that most 20-year-olds want to live like they're 50. They want to have nice cars, a great house, the view, the boat, all of those things, but they want them right now. Um, they want it right this minute, um, and I think that's dumb. First of all, you end up buying a lot of depreciating assets, and you end up losing money every single year. You can't avoid it, and that's a bad plan. Um, I I to this day I do not own a car newer than a 2018. I have a 28 that the newest car I own is a 2018. And I pay cash for all my cars. I've only had in my entire life I personally have only had 2 car loans. Um and my wife had one. So, in the past 18 years I've had um I had a car loan, she had a car loan. Yeah. And that's it. So, uh I know that this sounds really bad, right? Like this is like pie in the sky, like everyone's going to think I'm just totally bullshitting, but I am 100%. If you want, if you want to plan, if you want to have a retirement um, and you want to be able to have a lot of financial security up to retirement, you can't be going out to bars, you can't be partying, you can't be buying a $90,000 ski boat. You can't be, you can't have 10 rental properties that are rented under mortgage value. So you're paying $500 or $600 a month on each one of those properties. I don't care how much income you make. The real thing is that kids these days, they get out and they go into their first job, and a lot of skilled people can get out and go into a 60, 80, $100,000 job like that. And they go from making no money, eating ramen noodles, off a hot plate in a college dorm. They go to that to 100 grand a year, and they just lose their shit. And I've seen it over and over and over and over again. And you just cannot. I can't stress enough how a little bit of discipline, a little bit of self actualization, and for men especially, I think that you need to be stoic in most aspects of your life. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have humor. That doesn't mean that you're not a fun guy. That doesn't mean that you're not pleasant to be around. It just means that you are very serious. You take things seriously. and you're not just giggling your ass off all the time like a teenager, right? And so when you take something seriously, money's something to be taken seriously. You give up a lot of your hard you give up a lot of hard hours of your life. And I know, that the idea I get it, man. I spent all this time making this money. I want to go enjoy it. Totally get it. The problem is that when you enjoy it, when you can't work, when you can't put that hard time in, or you don't want to, like your body's broken and you're tired all the time. And come on, just look around any office, look around any work site, look around any schoolyard, and you will see the people that should have retired 10 years ago. And they can't retire. They absolutely cannot retire. They just don't have the money. They don't have the same. And oftentimes they already have a retirement. They retired from somewhere else, but they never did anything to accumulate actual wealth. And so here they are with a retirement or a pension, working another job just to make ends meet. And I'm not talking about they're working that extra job to pay for a Winnebago that they travel around the country in, which that would be cool. I'm talking about they just do not have the money. And let me tell you, one of the reasons why I'm so brutal about this is my grandmother lived to be 104 years old. She retired when she was 60. Okay, her retirement ran out when she was about 80. She lived another 24 years on Social Security and what the family could provide for her, or what she would tell us she needed. She was very secretive about it. She had her pride, right? And that that instilled in me a huge sense of you can't retire and expect to just you know float for a few years and then that's it. Y- you need to plan. You need to plan hard. You need and even when you're retired, I'm retired. I don't do anything I don't want to do. Every day I get up, I do what I want to do, but I manage my rental properties, right? I have income that's paid for, right? Um, I have that literally, if the rental market fell apart tomorrow, I could shutter the doors on those houses, pay the property taxes, and coast until the market came back because I don't owe a mortgage on it. I don't have a massive debt load front loaded into my budget. Um, and I think that so maybe that's really the thing that I'm trying to get across is when you're young, front load all of your expenses into your budget, and I mean barely enough to live. No new cars, no trips to Fiji, none of that shit. Go to the fucking movies. Better yet, go to the free movies in the park. Make your own popcorn. Take it with you. Be frugal motherfuckers. If you can't be frugal, it's so hard. I don't and I'm talking about dude, I made what I don't know what happened there. Okay, I'm back. Dude, I had I had businesses that were making $1 million a month. Okay. And the And at the end of the day, by the time I sold them, by the time I got out of it and everything, you just the money goes fast. It goes really really fast. And so, am I still up, guys? I know that it looked like my Streamlab cut out there for a minute. I don't know what happened. Am I still there? Still good? Yeah, no, maybe so. Not good. Okay, good. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. All right, so sorry, I kind of launched into a tirade there. Look, I had businesses that were making a ton of money a month. I still live like I didn't have a dollar to my name. To this day, I buy my work shirts at Walmart. Be smart with your money, right? Now that said, I have a lot of nice stuff, and I unfortunately spend probably more than I should, and I yell at myself all the time to cut back, and I'm always looking for the next deal. Like I'm looking at buying this company and making something out of that. I've got property that I own that I'm going to build something on at some point that'll end up making me money. Literally everything, and I think it's a mindset. Everything I do, every purchase I make is either an asset purchase or it's something that's disposable. One of the two. And most of the time, I really try and make it an asset purchase. And when I say an asset purchase, it means that I buy it and I know that I can get rid of it for the same or nearly the same as what I paid for it, or I can depreciate it out enough that when I have to sell it for nothing, it doesn't bother me at all because somewhere that thing's made me money. Um, and it's ingrained into my brain. Like you cannot change that part of me. Um, I look at every single purchase, everything. I look at it all the same way. Honestly, it drives my wife crazy, like just nuts. It is who I am. But yeah, so I don't know if that really answered your question there, Rye Guy. I hope it did. Um, the the end. I mean, there's so many financial vehicles out there now. You just got to do a bunch of research, and the ones that I like are, you know, probably they're not flashy. They're not even new. Like I haven't said anything here that you couldn't read in a 1970s textbook. I don't think. Maybe the I bonds, but yeah. Um, yeah. Hey, man, I really appreciate you sparking the topic. Sometimes I can get cast adrift and start going down rabbit holes and doing weird stuff. So um, the financial stuff something that I'm really kind of passionate about because I've just watched so many people go broke that should never have gone broke, and I really feel like that if you are, especially if you're in your 20s and you make good money, like the thing is that if you're making good money in your 20s, the temptation is so great to live it up, to have fun. Go buy that $90,000 ski boat with a $80,000 truck to pull it with. So but mostly, whatever you're doing, I think most people should have some interest in a business of some kind. It could be the coffee shop around the corner. It could be the mechanic shop on the across town. You could partner up with. You could be a silent partner in an accountant firm. Whatever. Um, because that's where money's made. Money is made in business. Money is you can't make money saving at all, um, which is basically what your Roth and everything is. So, um, yeah. Um, Jess, I'm gonna kind of come back to the marriage subject. The unmarried people don't get it, um, and you'll never be able to explain it. The only thing I can say is that when as a young man, and I've said this before, and I'll say it a dozen times, I'm sure. When I was young, when I was really young, I didn't understand anything. I was stupid. I didn't know any better, and I nailed anything that would spark it. That even thought that they wanted to have anything to do with me, and um, and I really didn't. To be honest with you, looking back on it, I have to be honest. I really don't think I really understood that much of it. I really didn't understand the implications, and I'm very fortunate that nothing bad ever came of it. Right? Like I didn't. I know. I don't have any kids. Out of wedlock or anything. So that's, man, dodged a bunch of bullets there. But it was a different time to some degree. A lot People felt a little safer, maybe. I don't know. But as I kind of got a little bit older, I really started to appreciate the idea of marriage. I didn't think it was for me. Okay. Um, and I've said before that the if you'd asked anybody that I graduated high school with if I was ever going to get married, they say no. If you ask anyone I graduated college with, they'd say hell no. Right? Like there's no way any female is going to tie this dude down for more than a few months, and they would be right. At that time you couldn't. There was no possible way. Um, I really didn't trust women. I think part of the key piece is that I had a very, I feel like, healthy distrust of females, um, because I I watched a bunch of different things happen when I went to college, and I think this is really important. When I went to college, my freshman year, I watched girls that in high school were cute and cuddly, and they wouldn't, you couldn't cop a feel, they were just, they maybe you get a hug, pat on the butt. That was it. I watched those girls. I watched a couple of them go from these sweet, innocent darlings to full on raging slut monsters. I mean, out drunk, partying, multiple boyfriends, just one after the other, just buying into whatever bullshit an upperclassman told them. And I watched this corruption. I can't use a better word. I mean, to me, it was just corruption. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. I mean, that's really pretty fucked up. And so as I'm going through college year after year, you know, after that first year, I had a pretty steady girlfriend for a little while. I actually thought I was going to marry her, and she was from Mississippi. She was what we in the South call a steel magnolia. She really, she was just so sweet and so innocent and so charming. She had a backbone of steel. You couldn't push her. If she put her foot down, that was it. I'm just telling you. And and one of the things about me personally, one of the things I really realized early is that I have to have a strong woman. I cannot have a meek, quiet, shrinking violet of a woman. If I do, I would completely just I will dominate their entire world. Like they won't even have pardon me. They won't even have an opinion, right? And it bores me, right? It's not that I need an argumentative woman. That's there's two. That's a totally different thing. What I need someone who is going to be able to back me up, to understand the drive I have and support that drive. And that takes a lot of strength. It does not take someone who's going to be at home ignoring everything that is out in the world and just listens to me complain about what happened at the office that day. I needed somebody who was very, very strong-willed, very driven, very ambitious, all of the things that the red pillars say that women that are not valued in women. And I actually valued that very, very much. As a matter of fact, that it was a disqualifier to have a meek woman. Absolute disqualifier. If a woman would not stand up in front of me privately and tell me that I was fucking up, I didn't want anything to do with her. Okay. Because if you can't tell me when you think I'm doing something wrong, I can never trust a single thing you say. It's just the way it is, honestly. I mean, you just can't, there's no other way to say that. So, so I realized that was going to be very hard to find. I found one, almost got married, but she had, AC, I'll get to that in a minute, buddy. Um, I almost had that, but things happen, didn't work out. Not going to go into why. Wasn't a between us thing. It was something happened in her life and spun her. So unfortunately, um, just happened that way. So I moved through college, and I'm watching again. I'm watching the corruption of all of these girls in college, and how bad it really got. And I lost a lot of hope, man. I gotta be honest. I was just like totally. I was. I wasn't depressed about it, but I was just like, meh, whatever. And so what I did is I just, I dated heavily, and you know that was my life. And I was a singleton, right? Like I was just completely by myself, alone, very comfortable alone. I could be alone for months and then date every day for 3 months, whatever. And I think it weirds women out a little bit. But what weirds modern women out when men can be alone, and I mean completely alone, and just not care, just no phone calls. Of course, not as many emails back then, but no phone calls, no drive by, no picnics, none of that. I think it weirds modern women out when men are able to just be by themselves, be alone, comfortable with it. Go to work every day. I don't need to call you after I get home. We don't have that relationship. So you know, when you come into this whole idea like this, it is very disheartening, and I completely understand where the other guys in the chat were going with that they will never find a suitable wife material woman. 100%, dude, I get it. I lived it. The thing is that there are really, really good women out there that are dialed in, squared away, 100% what you want. You've got to put in the effort too. The number one complaint, and I don't think I've ever said this before, and I'm going to get fucking roasted for saying this. The number one complaint I have about most men in the red pill or conservative space is they're lazy motherfuckers that think the women are going to come to them. And basically, all they have to do is sit around and be fucking chads, and they're going to get women, or they have to put in minimal effort, and they're going to get women. And if they put in minimal effort, they don't get women, but they feel like they put in a lot of effort, right? And the thing is that you don't really know what you don't know, right? You think this is a lot of effort, but it's really not a lot of effort. You feel like it is. You're looking around at other guys and going, man, he didn't put in that much effort, but you don't know that he didn't put in that much effort. He may have put in 3 times the effort you did, but it just looks like he did not. So that's one of my kind of my chief bitches, and I'm gonna get fucking flamed for that. I know I am. I know somebody's gonna fucking call me out on that shit. And I'll stand my ground. I really do think that that's the case. I also think that men are confused as to the type of women they want. And you only figure that out for yourself. You can't have a video like this one telling you what kind of woman you want. You may really need a meek woman that just cooks you dinner every night, you know, has your shoes and pants and jacket laid out for work the next morning. And on the weekends, she goes to her, you know, ladies' gardening club or whatever the fuck. And, you go play golf with the boys. That may be the perfect woman for you. You may also, you may be a guy that needs a hellion that challenges you at every single stage of your life, but you get each other and she doesn't challenge you on the things that are important and the things that matter. Now, personally, I could not deal with that, and I don't think that most men could, but I have seen men that could do it and they enjoyed it and they had a great life. I'm not here to tell anybody this is what you need. It really bugs me to some degree that we try and tell each other these things about what other men should be looking for. Now, what we should accept, the behavior that we should accept, there is a baseline for that. No man should tolerate his woman cheating. Period. End of list. That shouldn't even be a. I can't even believe that that's a discussion that is had regularly. Like, if you cheat, you're out. Done deal. Don't care. Don't know what the excuse is. You're done. Donezo. And cheating doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, right? Like, if you're out, look. If you're a dude and every time you go out in public, you're eye fucking every female within range, and every word out of your mouth to your boys is about how that chick has the most bangable ass you've seen since high school, you're fucking cheating, dude. Okay? You're mentally fucking that chick and not your wife. And that is, look, you may not, it may not hold up in court, but in my book, you're a dick and you probably don't deserve the woman that you have. Just saying, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. On the other side of that coin, you should never tolerate a woman cheating. You should never tolerate lying. These are basic tenets that I don't even accept in my friends. If one of my friends lies to me, we're done. Like, done. Like, you do not fucking lie to me. Like, that's no. Just don't do it. I don't bother to lie. Lying, first of all, it takes a lot of effort. I just don't care enough to lie. But I really hate it with the people I deal with in life. That's a deal breaker in every aspect, but especially my wife's never lied to me ever. Um, and the few times that she's thought that I lied to her, I never have. But the couple of times she's thought it, she was pissed, super pissed. Like, and she should have been. Like, if you fucked up enough that your woman thinks that you're lying to her, dude, you have fucked up, right? Like, you need to own that shit. And that's the last thing. Most people don't own their shit. I'm gonna kind of get off relationship shit after this. I go all fucking night, but you got to own your shit, man. You know what? The other day, my wife was, I don't know, she's doing something around the house, I knew that she had some work to get done, and I took care of a few things so that she could get her work done so that later I could hang out with her. I think that's just being a good dude. But she didn't really see it that way, and she thought that, that I was kind of pushing her to do something else. I No, wasn't doing that. But a little bit later, I did kind of do that, and I had to own that shit. And I'm not going to get into the exact thing, man, but I kind of fucked up a little bit, and I said, you know what? You're right. I fucked up. I'm sorry. It's my bad. I'm not going to do it again. If I do, let me know, and I'll correct it. And it was just that easy to handle it. Now, let's see. AC says it's debatable. To me, cheating is when the trust is broken by either sexual affair with someone else, sharing private info of you to others. That's not debatable. That's facts, mother. That's facts, dude. That is absolute facts, AC. Look, cheating is mental cheating is as bad as physical cheating. Honestly, to be blunt, I think most women are angrier about a man mentally cheating than just having some chick suck his dick. I could be wrong about that, but the physical action's fairly irrelevant. Uh, Mint debatable. No, dude, I'm telling you, man. Well, you know what? It's not debatable in the way that I mean it. I mean that because I listen to these dudes. I used to listen to them in my shop all the time. Because I mean it's fucking race shop. These guys are all like type A plus. They're fucking ballers. Every one of them has more money than they know what to do with. And I mean, I'm talking about the kind of guys that buy Bentleys and literally in cash, like buy a Ferrari every year and sell it for more than they paid for it the year after. That these guys are, the guys I was around, they're pretty legit dudes. And I have a really funny story about that. I'll tell you a second, but um, I would lose so much respect for the ones that would come in, and every time there was a hot or even just a cute girl around, every single time they would talk about how bangable that chick is or whatever. Because, dude, it's a mentality, man. It's fucked up. I can't deal with it. I would if I was that dude's woman, which I wouldn't be because I'm a dude, but I can't see how any woman would tolerate that shit. It's mm-mm, can't do it mentally. I mean, now I'm not talking about watching porn or corn, whatever I got to say on YouTube. I'm not talking about just watching it and just getting off and going to bed. I'm talking about seeing a real person across the street or across the parking lot or in a store and literally saying out loud to your boys, I'd been that over, right? I mean, to me that's the same. To dude's wife may not be. I don't know. But I promise you he wouldn't do it in front of his wife. If you wouldn't do it in front of your wife, you're fucking wrong. Guaranteed every single time. And I just because that's the way it is. Let's see what. All right, so let me tell you just really, really quick, really quick. This funny thing. So I used to work for this guy, and he was part owner of the shop that I worked for before I went out on my own. And the guy owned a bank. Okay, fucking bank. And he ended up, I guess he didn't actually own it. He owned a bunch of it, bunch of the shares, and he ended up being the president for a while, and then he golden parachuted out when they sold the bank. When they built it up, fucking millions, millions. I mean, this dude, his pockets weren't nervous. That's all I'm saying. So, but he hung out with a bunch of dudes, and they were all like, these are all top, like real top G dudes, like real honest to God. And it was very funny because one of them, they're always one upping each other, man. It was like, here's my new plane, here's my new jet, here's my new jet with a pilot. Here's my new Ferrari 575 Maranello that there's only three of, and it's in flat black, and it was $1.5 million. And then, okay, here's my $2 million a year race team, that is, basically just a fucking toy. Got 30 guys back there working, and it was hilarious, man. It was a hilarious thing. I mean, you just can't even get there from here. I mean, it was, and watching it taught me a lot. Watching it taught me a lot about personalities. So, you know, it was fucking hilarious. And I mean, I actually I had a customer one time that had a Ferrari F uh, the F360 F1. Yeah, the F1, and it was silver with biscuit interior, and he loved it. It's like his favorite thing in the world. He drove it this guy drove it around Denver like every day. Every day it wasn't snowing. If it was snowing, he had a Mini Cooper that was his snow car, and but he loved that Ferrari, and he drove it all the time. The problem was it had to go in for service quite often, so he bought a second one, the identical car down to the color of the seats, the wheels, everything, just so he never had to not have one available. You know, just unbelievable. Great guys, and really, these guys are really really nice guys because they got nothing to fucking worry about in life. All right, so let me go back up here, and AC, you asked me how many are confirmed for the live convo on Friday. So far, Allie is sort of confirmed. She confirmed, and then she kind of waffled because she didn't really want to. She wasn't sure she wanted to be on with Spectre and have an argument that didn't go anywhere. I think I got that sorted out, but she hasn't confirmed. So that might be something that I need to talk to her about. Um, Annie has not confirmed. I know it's been mentioned to her. I have not PM'd her about it. I know that it's been mentioned to her, and I know that she's kind of. I haven't actually seen her responses because I'm not up usually when she's on. Um, and the I would like to have Annie on. I think Annie and Allie would be fine to be guests, but I don't know. Um, I think Allie is second guessing it. I don't know what Annie's doing. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Annie and I don't whatever. Um, the two teenagers basically. I don't know that they're teenagers, but they act like teenagers. And then you know, Kath Kath goes back and forth, and Kath has been very erratic lately. So I don't know. Not my call really on that one. Um, she's you know welcome to come on, um, but I don't know. I can't call that one. That one's that one's too far out for me to call. Spectre, obviously, he would love to do it. I think he really enjoyed being on the show last time, and I think that I think on the show he's more thoughtful than he is online. I think that when he's not on the show, he is, or when he's online only, he's a little bit less filtered and a little bit more raw. And I think when he was on the show, he was awesome. I mean, he was fine. And we had, he has that. As I've mentioned many times before, men have this quality of being able to completely disagree and call each other fuckheads, and then 10 minutes later we're best friends again. He seems to have that quality. He just doesn't hold it, just doesn't take it personally, doesn't hold it against anybody. It's just like, yeah, asshole, shut up, and move on. So I'm pretty sure he's on. Josie, Josie is confirmed, but she's having issues. She has some issues with her internet streaming like this, and her equipment. So I'm pretty sure she'll be on. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. The So that's what I got, man. I don't know where that leaves us. I was hoping. I was kind of hoping to have a um, a progressive female on Wednesday because Wednesday show is usually pretty good for me. But and that's when I had Spec on was on Wednesday. Wednesday seems to be a good show, good day. But the only one I think that will make it is the Jasmine girl, the lawyer. Um, Allie from Discord is a progressive female. She doesn't come off as progressive, man. Maybe she is. I don't know. She doesn't really seem progressive to me. Um, but maybe. But that's great. I mean, that's cool. Well, Allie would be great. That's why I think Allie and Annie is they're kind of like the opposite ends of the same thing. You, I don't know. Whatever. But supposedly Jasmine, the lawyer, I don't remember the OF lawyer. Remember that chick? Um, well, everybody calls Spec misogynist. He admits to being misogynist. I mean, that's accuracy. Accuracy matters. So I mean, I don't know that you can hold that against him. And she does get highly defensive, but she's 17, dude. I mean, come on. She doesn't have a lot of she doesn't seem to have the quite the social skills that say Jess or some of the others have. I think Natalia honestly would be the better guess, but she won't talk on stream, and whatever. Apparently, it's whatever. So yeah, man, I don't know. I was trying. I was considering trying to get. Yeah, I don't know. Jess has not said whether she will be on the stream or not. She's waffled. Yeah, she won't talk either. Um, the 304 lawyer. Yeah, I mean that's exactly. Yeah, Jasmine, the 304 lawyer, the OF lawyer that does OF, whatever. Um, I'm pretty sure she would come on the stream, but I don't know how productive that would be. I actually like that dude more than I think I would like that dude that was on last Wednesday. I think he would probably be a better match up. However, I don't want to debate. And that dude just defaults to debate. So, um, you know, whatever. That's fine. Yes, yes, the internet is forever. Um, however, it's okay. You can be on the internet for an hour or an hour, 2 hours. It'll be fine. No big deal. Not gonna hurt anybody. Besides, there's only like 4 people that ever watch this. So, well, we were up to 5. We were up to 5, and then one dropped. It's probably Allie. She's probably mad at me. Probably left. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of excited about Friday night. I especially like the idea. Well, and you guys can't. Not that I can actually see who's on board here, but you guys can't um, say anything. But her argument, the argument that she made the other day about how women couldn't travel alone. Um, that argument, I didn't make an argument against it because I'm saving it for the stream. But that argument is just garbage. Um, so the at the end of the day, it's tough for it. It's you know it is tough for women. I get that. That's always been tough for women. What I don't get is that women are just now acting. Or, well, pardon me. Women today act like it is just now tough for them. when they have no idea what actual toughness was, right? Like my grandmother used to tell me stories of how in the Great Depression they would actually weave baskets out of grass and or whatever you weave baskets out of. And then they would walk, and it was probably like 5 miles in the town, and sell those baskets for like a dime so that they could buy stuff that they couldn't get or couldn't make on their farm. And her sisters did that all the time. That was like a normal thing for them to do. It wasn't even something they complained about. And um, they didn't have they had a um, spring cooler, right? They got the concrete thing over an actual spring, and that's what they kept their milk and butter and eggs in, so it wouldn't spoil. Like we don't have it tough, guys. We're, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to see people complain about how tough they have it. And they don't have it tough, man. Let's you'll see on Friday. You start the live just chatting about things, and everyone will bring some topics. Let's keep it chill. I like it, AC. I do. Yeah, no Destiny 1. So I like the guy. I mean, he was very articulate. He made good points, but he just kept falling back into this rote of we can't have a conversation. We can't have a chance to understand each other's perspective. All you want to do is give me a wall of stats and tell me this is why you believe what you believe, but you won't tell me the actual mental process or the the guts of what your belief is. And I'm so sick of that, man. It's just like the way the internet operates today. I'm just so makes me want to puke, right? Like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm old. Could be old. I don't think I am, but I could be. All right. AC man, I like the enthusiasm, dude. I do. I enjoy it. I appreciate it. Um, we've been on for about an hour and a half, almost an hour and 22. Actually, I've been on for an hour and a half because did not realize that YouTube had gotten jacked up somehow. So I was sitting there talking to myself with Jess, and nobody else was on the stream, and it was very entertaining. It was cool. All right, guys. Anybody else got anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you want to toss around? You want to hard questions? Nipple piercings? Anyone? Anything like that? Want to talk about? 5 ear piercings? Nothing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That was a heck of a discussion you guys had on body art earlier. It was yeah, it's entertaining. I only said a couple of things on that. I've had kind of a day. Had kind of a day, and fortunately, I got some food, which was yeah. Oh, Randy, are you watching? Are you there? Come out, come out wherever you are. No, no, Randy. So I think sometimes Randy and Jess, or not Randy and Jess, Randy and Kath both kind of just say shit to um see what kind of reaction they're gonna get. You know, like they are. I don't even know if they actually believe half the shit they say. They just throw it out there. You know, just see what it is, see what's going to happen, and yeah, it's a good time. Yep, I gotta get something in my eye, guys. There we go. All right, better, better. Yeah, Randy's always on Discord when he's not door dashing, and sometimes while he is. I finally used DoorDash again this year to get a delicious hamburger. was great. It's very good. Anybody anybody else got anything? Yes, Chipotle butt, yeah. Randy having Chipotle butt is not that interesting. I'm sorry. It's just not. Nothing? Nothing else? Nobody want to ask about anything cool? Airplanes? Airplanes, you may talk about airplanes. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm happy that we had this little discussion tonight. I've apparently gotten something that is not supposed to be in my eye, and it's making it water a lot. Probably like, I don't know, something. I don't know. I don't know what I got in my eye, but doesn't matter. All right. Well, there's nothing else, guys. I'm gonna call it a night. It's a nice early night for me. It's barely even. I think it's barely even 10 o'clock. 9:42. Yeah. All right. Good deal. Good little stream tonight. I really like talking about the. I don't like to actually. I don't like to talk about the. Um. Yes, Randy. I was just saying that I dashed tonight for the first time in a while. So I was thinking about you, buddy. Thinking about you. And your whole your whole circular argument around the nipple piercing was quite entertaining this evening. I really appreciated it. So, yeah, but keep making the DoorDash money, man. You gotta at some point you're gonna have to you know do something else. But are you not entertained? Uh, I am actually. I am actually entertained. Yeah, I'm not much. I'm not much of a gladiator. I like the movie though. The movie is cool. The movie is very cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm sleepy. It's almost 10 o'clock, which is actually early for me, but I got up early. I got up about 3 a.m. and I stayed up with you degenerates last night. Um, I stayed up with you degenerates last night doing watching the or not. I wasn't even watching the whatever podcast, and I was helping you guys TTS things. Um, really thought that girl was going to leave on my TTS. That seemed to just, just like a dart, just got her. And then Brian, Captain Savaho, comes in and drop that anxiety level down. Yeah, Methany was fun. But she was only fun because of what Brian was right. She's only fun because of the train wreck that she represented. Like other than that, she didn't really add anything. It was terrible. Had to farm for clickbait. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Probably right, Jess. Yeah, I don't. I need to figure out how to get the clips in, so that I can drive traffic. I'm just not that skilled yet. Methany makes you feel better. Jess, if Methany makes you feel better about your bad decisions, then that is probably a very strange thing, but good for you. Good for you. Yeah. And that girl was haggard too. Like haggard. Like how is she on anything? Like I guess, just dudes will pay to see anyone get naked, but dang, she's busted, man. Like, that's haggard. That's that's like that's like a elder lot lizard at a truck stop haggard. I mean, that was bad. It was just bad and all sad. Well, actually, it was sad, all sad. And Anthony makes it think your ex wasn't as bad as you thought. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. So, you know what really surprised me was the Bubblehead twins, um, um, Aspen and Jacqueline. Right? Did I get that right? I think I got that right. Um, they surprised me because I originally thought they were like completely irredeemable, just kill it with fire. Basically, that's what I thought when I first saw it. But is as they kept talking, they're talking about single digit body counts, you know, only had two relationships. I was like, wait, what? I mean, they don't they're not OnlyFans like, you know, corn star girls. Whatever, maybe they are. I don't know. Somebody, some dude needs to play Captain Save a Ho and go redeem those two before they turn into full on, raging hose beast that are irredeemable, like Metheny. See, kids, Metheny is what happens to whatever the Aspen and whatever the other girl's name was. That's what happens to little Aspen down the road is Metheny. I don't actually remember her name. I don't really care. But yeah, those two surprised me, and the the three based girls on the left kind of surprised me too. For some reason, I did not think that the base girls were actually gonna like contribute a lot because the last couple of shows, the chicks that are supposed to be based really haven't contributed much of anything. But I was pleasantly surprised, especially the chick from Canada. I don't remember what her name was either. That chick from Canada was hardcore truth. Like, not unfortunately, she wasn't quite brutal enough. She, didn't- you know, she hasn't spent enough time around someone like me. But she did give it to him a little bit, and you gotta admire that. The show was redeemed, and the last half of the show was actually, or the last third of the show, without Metheny was actually really pretty good. It flowed well. Um, they had some funny exchanges. It was pretty good. So, Titters is the perfect name for that girl. That was hilarious. AB had me going earlier today. Blue shirt. Yeah. So Jess, I listened to what she said about that, about that the she was in a she was basically, my understanding. First of all, she's in Colorado. Colorado has some really effed up adoption laws. Not really sure why. You would think that they wouldn't, but they do. And so I guess she was afraid of having to have partial 50-50 custody with the father, and it was just a decision that she made to, interest of the child, right? Which had to have been a super hard one, man. Like, I can't even imagine that. Of course, I can't imagine I can't imagine having a psycho ex that was that bad. Oh no, Jess, it wasn't money, man. It was the having to share custody with the psycho, right? And having to constantly live with the idea that your child might be in danger by the father who the court system grants you know 50% custody. And I get that. I get that. It would be tough. It would be tough. I'm not saying she's right doing it. I get it, right? Like I don't know that I would want to gamble with that either. If I had a um, similar situation in my life, I don't know. I, Jess, I'm telling you, man, Colorado, it's tough, man. I actually have the reason I know this is I lived in Colorado. One of my buddies, he ended up with custody of his kid, but his ex was psycho, and it took him forever, ever to get full custody of that little boy, and he almost didn't. And um, I'm telling you, man, Colorado's really fucked up in that regard. I don't know why. You would think they'd be more like California, but um, in that regard, or even Tennessee. Like Tennessee has pretty good custody laws. Um, but yeah, I remember my buddy. He had a hard time. He had a really hard time. I don't know from the mom side. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I don't know. It'd have to be a hell of a damn decision to give up my child. So yeah, that's a problem. Proving unfit with psychotic people can be exceedingly hard, like almost impossible. Like I don't know that I don't know. Obviously, I don't know all the details, but so in my buddy, I'm not gonna dox him, but his name's Terrell. He was a white guy. He was German, but you know he uh he fought for years to get his kid away from his ex-wife, and she was literally psycho. Like that he had, you would think that he had more than enough evidence to prove that she was unfit, and she always came up with something. And what's stupid is, and I don't actually don't get this. It's a Tyrell, not that Terrell. Anyway, um, at least I think hang on. I don't know how he spells that shit. I'll find out. Give me a second. Yeah, yeah. No, I was right. I'm right. Yep. I think Josie wants back in. Her name might have been Tiffany Jared. That's I'm not even joking about that. Who the fuck is Jared? Hi, Jared. How are you? Um. Oh, really? Fucking awesome. Are you from Colorado, dude? You might know her. All right. Let's see here. Jared, are you from Colorado by chance? You might actually know the guy. Anyway, so um, just the end result was that the only way that my buddy was able to get custody of his kid was he proved that the ex wife or girlfriend, I'm actually not sure if they were married. I'm not going to ask him. I don't care enough. But he uh, he ended up he couldn't prove that she was psycho because she kept getting doctors to lie for her. Um, but she got arrested for drugs of some kind, and that was the key. That was a key moment, and it took years, but he finally wrested control of his kid from her, and that kid is awesome. I mean, he's a super cool kid. I mean, he's damn near an adult now, but never been to Colorado. Well, for some reason I had you pegged as a Colorado guy. That's okay. I think Josie might be coming back in. You come in. I guess I was winding down, but I'll sit here and jabber. Crazy hot matrix. You damn straight. So Jared, that video was actually shot not far from my house. So yeah, yeah. Jess, I do not disagree with you. Um, but I wasn't in that situation, so I'm not going to judge. I think it's a fucked up thing. Don't get me wrong. Um, I'm just not going to sit in judgment because I've watched people go through some amazingly fucked up shit, and you know, so the it's crazy. Yeah, Jared. So the crazy hot matrix, the guys that filmed that, they did that at James Yeager's place, which is not far from where I live. And unfortunately, I don't know if you know this, but Mr. Yeager passed away last year, and so I actually know that place is still there. But he was, yeah, he was an interesting dude. Didn't always like him, but he was cool. And the crazy hot matrix. Now he didn't do that. That was somebody was he had somebody there teaching some class on something, and that they did that video. They did that video as like an off the cuff sort of thing, right? Like just hey, we got 10 minutes and some camera time. Let's make something happen. And that video has been fucking awesome for years, and it was just like a whim, like just no big deal. And it's so cool. Yeah, 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 yeah. Old Jaeger. I don't know, man. I can't. I mean, he was a dude. He So it was a hereditary disease. His father, I think, his father died of the same thing, and he unfortunately thought he was gonna, you know, he thought he was gonna make it out and not get it, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. He got it, or the symptoms appeared, and that was that. He went very quickly. If you watch the videos that he posted um, when he was going through it, they're gut wrenching, like gut wrenching, you know. And yeah, I like Jaeger. He's a pretty good dude. Grid, do you think I'm able to get wife some of this? You know, hey man, some girls don't know. They don't know what a biggie is. They only know what they see, and you might be the only thing they see. So yeah, I mean, you're all right. You might make it. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I'm not going to sit on that jury. Um, However, I will tell you that this whole deal about not simping for women, and I kind of started covering this the other night, and we kind of got off of it a little bit, but this whole idea of not simping for women is fucked up. Like, if you are married, if you are um or dating, you should do what makes your partner happy. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that out in public you need to let her beat your ass. Okay, that's never all right anyway, but you know, there are limits, right? Like, obviously bad behavior, you can't tolerate bad behavior, but just for an example, right? Like, I don't have to get up at 3 in the morning to take my wife to the airport. Okay. She can get an Uber. She's fine getting an Uber. It I mean, it's not ideal, but it's fine. And actually, for a little while, back way long before, back in the olden days before COVID, she would just take an Uber. Okay, like probably 2 out of 3 times she would take an Uber, rather than um, have me take her to the airport. But I like that time. I like the time to just sit and talk. We're driving and we're talking, and I know that she's going to be getting on the airplane, and it's just a good time to just kind of hang out and just talk. The kids aren't around. It's really great. And I don't know why there's this sort of red pill or whatever he-man deal where you just can't compromise with your woman. Your woman is just supposed to kind of just sit there and be supportive. um I don't think any of that's right. I think that you've got to have support on both sides, and if one of you is hurting, the other one has a responsibility to support that. And I don't know. I'm really not into this just call everybody a simp thing, you know. Um it's I don't know, man. I'm actually really tired of hearing the word simp all the time. So maybe everybody's not. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong at least twice. I mean, there was this one time I thought I was wrong, but I was actually correct. So I was wrong about being wrong. So I don't know. Is that one time or 2 times I was wrong? So, oh, AC, dude, you will say simp. You will, yeah. You're all about the simp. It's not even an overusing of simp, right? It is, you're not really using it correctly, right? Like, if you were just going around throwing money at women, so here's the thing. W- let's talk about what is a simp, really. Is a simp a guy that just shows a girl affection and caring, or is it what I think a simp? When I think of simp, I think of a dude that has zero chance of getting laid by this girl, whichever one it is. Zero chance. Zero. There's no way in hell this dude's going to get laid by this girl. And she's probably even told him that. She probably has even said, I'm not interested any way, shape, or form. We can be friends, we can hang out, but I'm never going to even kiss you. She probably has said that out loud. Maybe not, but probably she has. And dude will still sit there and take her out to dinner, take her out for drinks, pay for her drinks, doing all of this crap and get zero return. And yeah, right guy. Simping is when you show over affection or spend resources on someone that is not reciprocated. A healthy relationship is but right. Right guy gets it. That's it exactly. To me, a simp is one step above a cuck. And to just when a dude says, "Oh, I really think she's pretty. I really love my wife," or whatever, that's not a simp. The dude is not simping for his wife. A dude that is if my wife gets up in the middle of the night and wants something from the grocery store, I'm getting my happy ass out of bed. I'm going to put my pants on. I'm going to drive my cranky, angry, pissed off ass to the grocery store and get whatever she wants. I'm going to bring it back and I'm going to make sure she gets it. That's the reality of the situation. First of all, that's man shit right there, right? Like if you want to talk about being a man, be a man and get your ass up out of bed and go do what your wife needs you to do. That's man shit. When I'm sick, I expect her to take care of me, right? So yeah, I mean, just the simp thing's got we got to be more accuracy matters, guys. We got to be more accurate. There's just none of this. Everyone's a simp, you know, calling people simps when just because whatever, I don't know. I just it's overused. It's not right. It's crazy. It's crazy. Simping after, yeah, just simping after she puts you in the friend zone. Exactly. Well, not even a friend zone. She may tell you point blank, I don't even like you. Why are you even? I mean, I'll go because I'm not afraid of you, but I don't even like you. Matter of fact, while I'm with you, I'm going to look at other dudes. That's a simp, okay? If a woman is literally telling you that, hey, we can go out to this club and you can pay my cover and you can buy me my drinks, but don't dance with me because I'm going to be looking at other dudes. If a chick tells you that, you're a simp, plain and simple. Yeah, simping ain't easy, I guess. Pimping ain't easy. That's what it is. Pimping ain't easy. All right, all right. So I started off earlier talking about the business that I'm going to invest in, and I was going to kind of get into why, but I kind of slowed down and kind of moved in, and we started talking about investments and stuff. So let me tell you why I'm going to invest in this. And I talked about the whole Tesla thing and all that sort of stuff, but the other reason why I'm considering investing in this specific business is that because I can put I, it's one of those things where I always talk about the magic bullets, right? And that's where you can put $20,000 into a business and get 200, 300, $400,000 out within 3 or 4 years. That's that's a great return. Or you know I can put 250 grand in or 400 grand in and get 20 million out. And that's actually what I'm trying to do right now. Is I'm really trying very hard to um, be to identify a couple of businesses where I could put, put some money in and get a and it grow a bunch like a metric ass load. Hi, Josie. How are you?
Hi, good. You? Sorry, I'm a bit on a ghetto setup, but it's
That's okay.
working fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's all right. We get to hear all of your little steps
Really?
or whatever, like crinklings or something. Oh, that's better.
Uh,
Oh,
it's just
camera died.
because I fucking hate the
There
stupid
it is.
StreamYard for their noise cancellation is so awful.
I hadn't noticed, but maybe I don't even know that I have it on
You
for you.
probably don't need it, but you probably have echo cancellation
I
because I don't
do.
see. Yeah, I
I
don't
do.
see
I
wearing
do have that.
headphones.
Yeah. Yeah, I have all of that stuff and I actually the distance between my I don't even have the volume on my computer up very high and I have it a distance away from my mic so that I don't get all that back
Was it
noise.
more clear earlier?
This is actually clear. We're just getting some background popping from like your mic's rubbing up against something or
Oh,
your
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Usually that's why I use Discord. They have such a good noise cancellation for that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be too that your signal is still kind of slow today because you're You're freezing up once in a while.
I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi.
Uh, that'll do it. So Josie, we've been talking about all kinds of cool stuff. Right, guy. Now, and now an interesting question would be if a man is inside a marriage but is whipped by his wife. She gets everything her way, has a final decision on everything. Is that a simp? That's hard to say. I don't think that's a simp. I think whipped is the term that we always used. You know, he's p whipped, and that's a real thing. I mean, I've seen guys that felt like that they were very, very fortunate to land the, to win over the super hot babe that, or what they felt was a super hot babe, and
Yeah,
uh, and then you know, and that chick just runs them over 24/7,
pretty
and
much.
that's we always called it p whipped.
P-whip,
Yeah,
like pussy whip.
pussy whipped. That's right, p whipped, and
I think Tom Likas used to call it pussified male. The pussified male
pussified.
epidemic. I don't know if you recall Tom Likas. That was like a few years ago. Good
No,
stuff.
no, I don't. But we've said that kind of stuff for years, and
Pussified
Josie,
male?
just yeah, before you came in, I was talking about how we it seems like a lot of people now are using simp incorrectly, and for a lot of different things, especially when
Oh
people
yeah.
are in a relationship and they do things for each other. They're like, oh, you're just a simp or whatever. But really, it's just you're being you're honestly, you're being a Chad because you're doing what your significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever, wants you to do. So just kind of bring you up to speed there, kind of where we're at. Um, so yeah, I
I
think
mean,
I
it's
for the whip for the situation. Okay, yeah.
in a relationship. I mean, it's all about why you're doing it. So I guess if you're doing it because it works out for you and it's within your frame, then I guess it's not simping. It's just a win-win. But it's more as if the reason you're doing it is to regain control over the situation and to like for the means to an end. I don't know if that makes sense. That like if you're trying to get something out of it, like you're not just doing it because you're either getting something out of it or that's how you want it done, or um I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, I think that if you're in a relationship, you really can't be a simp. If you're in
No,
an
you can
actual
be.
relationship.
You can be.
Now, I don't. I mean, because you can be whipped, like Rye Guy says, and and he says they certainly share a lot of the same traits, but you really can't simp for somebody that you're in a relationship with
I
because
disagree.
in theory you should be um, you should be a reciprocal relationship where you both love each other. I mean, a simp by definition is that you are giving someone time, money, and affection that has literally told you that they will never give you any affection whatsoever, and they have no interest in you whatsoever. And so, even though they've told you or demonstrated to you that they have no affection for you whatsoever, you continue to do it, and that's simping. Now, whipped, I've seen whipped men. I've seen men that felt, like um, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the phrase. It's they married above out of their league, or they married above their, um, you know, whatever. But
Okay, you cannot be simping in a relationship, but you can be a simp. Does
you
that
can be
make sense?
whipped. You can be whipped. You can be
I wouldn't
whipped.
even say whipped. I wouldn't even say whipped.
I think it's whipped. I think you because I've seen whipped dudes. I well, do I know any right now? I kind of cut those dudes out of my life. Um,
I wouldn't
because they're
even
not
say
dudes.
whip because honestly, it's not even like the girls are whipping them. Like
No,
they
no,
just
no.
they
They're
just seem to
being
have a
whipped.
head on their shoulder and they're just pussies. Like it's not
Right?
that
Yeah.
she's
They're.
whipping him, is that
Oh no, 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 no.
he's a
Whipped
fucking
is.
retard.
Yeah, that's some American slang. I get where the problem is. Whipped means that she cracks that whip and you do what she says, right? Like that's whipped. Okay, she cracks that whip. And the so that's and I've always and I again I've known people like that. I don't think I know any currently because I cut those people out of my life. Like if a dude is not going to stand up to his wife and tell her when she is pushing too hard or whatever. Like now years ago, I did know some guys, and we would all be out like be out playing golf back when I actually kind of enjoyed playing golf. We'd be out playing golf. Dude get a call, and his wife would be raging, fucking pissed, and he'd have to leave the damn golf course.
Uh,
You
yeah,
know, he
like
would live
cycling.
in the middle of a game because
Yeah.
she wanted him home. She needed him, whatever, and so being a good dude, in my opinion, I think he was just trying to be a good dude. I don't know that he was 100% whipped. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Wasn't there. I didn't. What my bitch didn't fuck her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I mean, I witnessed this dude drive off a golf course one time, but he was whipped. He really.
I see it with
Um,
cycling all the time. That's like 90% of dudes in cycling because usually they tend to be more like stem field, more like a left brain kind of guy. And, they, a lot of them just don't have frames and you see it because like I worked at a shop back then and it was like we had to make fake receipts, one that was like, oh, it's $400 while it's actually like 18,000 the final bill, but we had to make like a transaction on the one card of $400 and like put the rest cash and have a
I don't want
fake
to hear about
receipt
no,
and a real
I
receipt.
no, no, whatever NSA agents monitoring me today doesn't want to hear about any of this fraudulent activity.
Oh no, it wasn't even recorded with like IRS. Like, well, no, it was, but it's like different bank accounts. There's no way that you can be a bike shop and like go against the rules, so we're fine. If anything, I think car racing has more chances of being guilty of that.
Oh no, I could. No, there are so many freaking stories of thieves. I mean, outright thieves that are in the news. I mean, you can go look up the articles. Look up
Oh yeah, I
Greg
see them.
Lowles.
Yeah.
Greg Lowles was a guy who. You want to hear about some fuck? Let's talk about some fucked up shit. So Greg Lowles.
You want to go down that path?
Sorry,
You want to go down that path, or you
I'm
want
going to
to
go
stay on
down this
topic?
path. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
gonna. Yeah, I'm done with Simps. Um, the
Fuck Simps.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck those guys. And whip dudes too.
Gulag.
Don't be
Gulags.
whipped. Don't be
No,
whipped.
I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's just say it. If you see a simp and he's getting whipped, just fucking let him get whipped because there's no such
Mm.
thing as Captain Save a Hoe, and there's no such thing as Captain Save a Simp either.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to come
So,
from him.
so there was this back when I was this was probably 20 it's probably 2004, 2000 no, was it 2004? Yeah, somewhere early 2000s. Farm Barker Lowell. So Farnbacher was a company in Germany that made very good racing Porsches. I mean, they were very, very good. And the father, I can't pronounce his name, and the son, and I don't know his name. Um, the son came to the U.S. and was going to kind of open and run a branch of the company here in the U.S. And because they were already famous in Germany, and they just wanted to branch out. They were very, very excellent cars. They're mostly race Porsches, and they built very excellent versions of that.
Hmm.
And they were so Farnbacher Lowell's somehow Greg Lowell's who was kind of a stockbroker guy, and this actually is kind of like the theme to a lot of these stories is the guy, is like the main guy is like some kind of investment guy, some stockbroker, something like that. And what the fuck is going on here? Anyway, um, so Greg Lowles goes to his church, and so he starts going to his church, and he looks very wealthy. He's a stockbroker guy, and so
Mm-hmm.
people start investing money with them, and they get good returns, and then more and more people invest money with him, and pretty soon he's handling of somewhere along like 300-400 million dollars in an investment account that he controlled, and then there was more that he had access to, and he was the thing is all a Ponzi scheme, and so the dude was literally racing on everybody else's money, but he had the best of everything. Like he had Wolf Hensler, who was a Porsche factory driver, driving his cars, um, and just smoking everybody into the dirt, like cubic, like when we're talking about, you know, cubic dollars, like water running over a waterfall of money, and it all
Hmm.
came crashing down. It was all in the news back a few years ago, and they caught him because again it was a Ponzi scheme. So he would buy, he would he needed new investors to pay out the original investors to make it look like he was making money, but all of the money, like
Okay, yeah, it's like paying a loan with a loan type of shit.
almost all of the money went into this race team. And I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And when that guy got busted, it was like it's pretty impressive. Like the cops just like FBI, everybody showed up, locked the building down. It was crazy. And
Hmm.
the thing is that, and I had this theory about all of this. Like the guys I'd never heard of that came in and they had all brand new equipment and it's the best of everything. Like those guys, unless they were affiliated with a factory, they were not legit. I promise you there was something crooked. Drug money, shady investing, something. Those guys were, and I almost was always right. Like I think there's only one team I was wrong about where they weren't backed by drugs or some shit, and
Da, da,
or
da,
some
da,
sort of
ya, da,
criminal
da, da,
operation.
da. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of criminal operation, and so um, it was crazy, and it's like always like that. Like you could just watch it happen every few years, and it was cool. Those guys were, I mean, just amazingly good people. Like, and what's funny is the people there knew it. Like the guys that worked there were like, yeah, this is going to end because like literally everything that they had was the best of everything. Randy says, "Is Josie making a paper airplane or rolling a joint?" The paper airplane. Just because she's in California doesn't mean she's a pothead. Randy, get your mind out of the gutter, young man.
No, I don't smoke pot. I don't do downers. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
Gives me anxiety.
TikTok brand. We got some
I
guys
got.
in here. Let's see. We got Aaron Turner. He says, "Sheesh, I haven't seen those old iPhone headphones Josie has in a hot minute. That's because AirPods have too much feedback. They have to use headphones."
Yeah, no, the AirPods. The thing is, yeah, it's even most apps nowadays they say to like even on TikTok, like if you want to do like a duet or something, they say to use these.
Interesting.
Those, I mean, they're good. They're pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like I can't really hear myself right now, but what's up, Enzo?
Yeah. Let's see.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Slang. Need a slang dictionary. They already have that.
Little shit.
All right.
That's for when somebody has to land the plane. I needed a plane.
Land the plane.
I think next time I go on the show, I'm gonna bring like little paper planes and
So
like
Josie,
just
have you heard about the show that we're supposed to have Friday night? Have you heard about this?
what show?
All right, so Friday night we're supposed to have a a big show.
Well, who?
We're supposed to have Allie.
Oh, so us. Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah, me. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, and you obviously you're
okay. No,
helping. You're
I
helping.
thought,
When I say
you
we,
meant
it's a glow.
whatever. I
I
thought you
say
meant
we a
whatever.
lot because uh, one of the reasons I say we a lot is because I'm very used to working with a team.
Yeah, no, me too. That's why I was
I'm
like,
always I always say we, and people are like, it's just you, man. I'm like, I know, habit. It's you're not gonna break 15 years of
me,
marriage.
myself, and I.
Um, but so the show is supposed to be Allie, Annie, Jess, who's promises she's going to say something, don't you, Jess?
She's gonna
Talking
say
to you.
something.
Jess, talking to you. Jess is supposed to be there or be on, and then Spectre again,
Nice.
and you and I. We were gonna have Kath on, or AC wanted Kath on like really bad. Um, the
But she's
well,
too lazy to turn the
just
mic
just
on.
I know you didn't say that, but I said that, and therefore I win. So, and you should talk. I don't.
Cat didn't want to reach the plug. She's like,
I
I could, but the plug is too far.
I don't know. Kath has a reason. And Kath and I I said I hesitate to have her on because Kath has a habit of kind of bobbing and weaving through conversation. So, um,
Bobbing and weaving.
yeah, kind
Just
of,
throw like random stuff.
yeah, yeah, just, and I don't, I don't know. I think she'd do really well. I don't know. She actually said she didn't want to be on, which I thought was weird, but I'm not gonna force somebody to try and be on
You
the
know, there's a reason why um, there's no show without an audience. Is because some people are good audience, and
hmm
audiences make the show because there's no show without it. So it's
Yep,
kind of
that's
like
right.
a one doesn't go without the other. So yeah, like
Yeah,
some people are just born to be a good audience, and it's totally fine.
that might be. Kath might be the audience. Kath could probably be in the chat and start stir up some stuff. I tell you.
I mean, we're pretty good audience too.
Mhm. I
Not
try
gonna
to
lie. Like yeah, like not to brag or anything, but
be. Yeah,
I'm definitely a good chatter because I'd be like in three different chats at the same time.
yeah. Yeah, so Allie was all in, and then like she had some issue with Spectre, and I thought I talked her down off the ledge, but I don't
What
know.
happened?
She thinks that there's no point in debating him because, which I kept telling her it's not a debate, but the they can't agree on that women and men are equal or something like that, and
Who
Spectre
thinks that?
online, huh?
Who thinks that?
Allie. Allie
Bring her
thinks
in now. Bring her in now.
I don't know where she is.
Just bring her in.
She's probably asleep. She's in like the Middle East or somewhere.
And she thinks men and women are equal.
That's what. Can somebody help me out there and remind me exactly what Allie said? I know AC was in that conversation, but he may have ducked out.
AC was the
Um,
only one who was like okay with that semi myth head that was on the show yesterday because he's deaf
Allie lives in Australia, but is from Yemen. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
from the
Yeah,
hood.
yeah. So I I thought I've talked Allie down from the ledge, and I think she's going to make it, but I don't know. We'll have to work on her next few days. Annie hasn't. She's been asked in chat a couple of times, and she's seems noncommittal. I have not personally asked her privately or anything, so I should probably do that. I just don't generally DM girls, so that's just how that works. Um, and
I'm
especially
a
don't DM
pretty I'm a
first.
pretty good guest coordinator. Maybe I can make
Yeah,
something.
yeah, maybe you can make something happen, and then
Yeah, that's all my years of talent coordination in the film industry all finally paid off.
yeah,
Been
there you
able
go.
to find people last minute. It's like,
Yeah, Berto was like shocked that we were able to get a progressive on a podcast. He's like, I haven't even been able to do that yet. And I thought that was very funny. AC says Spectre and Allie didn't agree on women traveling alone or in girls' trip and being faithful to their partners and vice versa. Um, so I I think they had another disagreement beside that, but I'll go with that. I believe that.
so
I
Allie believed that you should be okay going on a girls' trip without your man.
No, she thinks that she can't because it's too much. Because men can't control themselves, and she's in danger. Um, and Jess says, "Is it a liability to have minors on? I'm naive to YouTube."
Is it a liability to have minors on? What do you mean?
Well, Allie's 17.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, I think in Australia she's not a minor. I don't know how that works in Australia, but yeah, 17 I think is fine.
No, no, you're
Um,
fine. You're fine.
the we have to be so dialed down on YouTube anyway. you know, I she might even could go on whatever, but
No, you can. I mean, if anything, it's if I think it's with the is it the FCC? It's like our FCA and FCC. It's just because like the consent or the release, you cannot give consent if you sign a talent release.
yeah,
You
yeah, but
just
I
have
don't have
the parent has to sign it, which
yeah,
technically already did when she created a YouTube account. So
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think it'll be great. I think it's gonna be a really good. I think it's gonna be a really good show. And I have some. I didn't really get involved in that discussion
you
with
don't have to
Spectre and,
mention you don't
and
have to mention
and
how
Allie.
she is either. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Jess was just asking. Wasn't sure about adult sex talk with minors. Yeah, we're
Well,
not
now that you bring it up, it's gonna be a problem.
we're not gonna.
Nobody needs to know.
Uh, I don't I don't know how much we can really get into adult sex talk on YouTube because it's YouTube, and we have to dial back so far. But
We're not monetizing. We're fine.
yeah,
It's the monetization that's a problem. We're not monetizing. We're not
yeah,
even held close to that same standards. It's
no,
just it just has to be like careful because if it talks about certain topics, we can be like recategorized, and we don't want to be recategorized as like something that's like deeper because if we get categorized as something that's more like serious and we're just hanging out, having fun, and talking, that is just gonna go under the radar, like no views, basically.
yeah. I appreciate that, Jess. I put a lot of thought into it this week too because I actually don't know. I mean, she seems intelligent, but I have a general rule about debating young people because it's usually a waste of time. But we'll see. Um,
We'll ask our parents.
the interesting thing is that I don't her her whole argument is really flawed, and I didn't get into it with her because I didn't want to I don't want to tip my hand for this show coming up, but I'm just I think everybody went at it from the wrong angle the other day, and it's going to be great.
The wrong angle, as if because it's
Yeah, right. Rye guy says, "Yeah, honestly, I don't think it has to do with being monetized. It's about getting flagged and your channel receiving strikes. I think that is it. But I,
Well, I'll work
yeah,
on figuring out which release form I need to get, and I'll get that her way, and we'll have it ready for Friday. How about that?
yeah.
I'll figure that out. If there's anything, I'll go dig through, but I'm pretty sure there's a way around because I see miners on live stream and co-hosting podcasts, and Sneeko
I
was just
mean,
on live with Matan.
yeah. I mean, we're not going to get into anything super sexual anyway. So at least I don't anticipate it. Um, I mean, it could go that way. I guess I'm just going to have to moderate it a little more than I ever have.
Or we
So,
can go on my account because age of consent is 16
hmm.
where I'm based.
Yeah, we'll get it taken care of. I'm sure that it's not a problem, but
No, I don't think
um,
so.
the yeah. So yeah, right guy. I hadn't actually thought about that, but that actually seems like an actual thing. Receiving strikes, and I'm probably going to get enough of those on my own. I don't need any help. So but yeah, it'll be
But
fine.
does Randy have a YouTube channel?
There's Randy.
Randy talks out of his ass a lot.
Yeah. No, right guy. I've been looking into it. I haven't found anything that deals with it at all. Like other than that, you can't have like
Just don't worry
super.
about it now. Just don't worry about it now. I'll
Yeah,
look
you
into
can't
it.
have.
I'll
Yeah,
look into it and I'll deal with it. So just don't worry about it right now. I would just stop talking about it.
yeah. I guess we
I
just
would
move on.
just stop talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah, just move on. I have to pull a Brian. Just gonna move on,
move on. I love it when he says move on and the bitch doesn't move on.
guys. We're gonna move on, and
Then
nobody
they
does.
keep on going like, shut the fuck up.
Randy says Josie looks crazily similar right now to a girl I went to high school with. LOL. I
You want a fortune cookie or something?
I don't know what you're trying to say there, Randy. I'm not up on that deal. I'm just gonna step aside. Um,
He's like
yeah. So
younger than my sister. That explains.
and when Allie told me her age, I was concerned about that. So that is something I'll continue to look in. I haven't found anything that says
Moving
there's
on.
a problem. Yeah,
Moving
moving on.
on.
So Jess says I like when Brian loses his shit.
Until he almost
I
hits you in the
kind of do
face when he
too.
does.
I kind of do too. And I was shocked. I tell you that he did not completely lose his shit over Methany last night. My God, that like I didn't realize it was because so you guys have to understand. Last night I was sitting on the couch watching a movie, and I had the volume down on my laptop. I had it just like way over away from me. I didn't know any of the stuff that was going on, and I couldn't hear it, And then I sent those TTS because they were funny. But oh, pardon me. I
I don't
sent
think
those.
she put a single coherent thought together at all.
Oh,
Nothing that anything she said, there was not a single complete sentence that actually conveyed a message or an idea. At 38 years old, I mean, what the heck is wrong with that chick? Like, it's
yeah,
embarrassing. And honestly, with friends like this, who needs enemies? It's like they just let her humiliate yourself like that. It's like, come on.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean,
Say hi.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty nuts.
Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
that girl was that girl's on me. I cannot believe that Brian didn't lose his shit earlier. Like I was really like I was I was counting on it. And when I watched it today, I'm like, how is he? I mean, I don't know how he stayed so calm. You know, that's that's crazy.
Well, I did end up to say shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So let's
He was,
see.
I think he was, because I honestly, I think he was clip farming her before kicking her off.
Randy
That's
and
my guess.
Alex Estrada just say random things, ignore them. Alex Estrada is my friend from the RX8 groups from a long time ago. He's a pretty cool dude. Lives up in like somewhere cold, like Washington State or Oregon. I don't know, somewhere.
Strata, was it the person I snapped at on Discord the other day?
Oh, probably not. He's not on Discord.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see. Who's this? Who is Right Guy says, guys, who the fuck is this mannequin looking ass he's got standing behind him at his shows now? Well, he says he's his security, Spencer for hire. That was a TV show back in the 80s for those of you much younger than me. Um, and Yeah, I don't know. I think it's his security. I honestly actually do think it's his security. So, you know,
Security from Timu.
yeah. Sec-
I mean,
sec-
if his name is
Security from
Jasper,
all the stalkers.
no, it's security guard from Timu.
Yeah, gotcha.
I
Dollar
don't
Ge-
know. I
Dollar
feel
Tree, Dollar Tree security guy.
Timu.
Brian needs a. What's his job? Brian needs.
I feel like I could beat his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know in that outfit, to be honest. And there's some dudes that are quick.
So, dude, guys, I get it. I agree. The guy does not look like a security guy, but Brian called him his security.
I mean, you never know. There's one thing I learned is that with security guys, some of the best ones are the ones that you could never tell they're actually security guys. There's some people are just good at handling crazy
Now, hang on,
people.
I'm not. I stand by. My wife is calling. I'm going to mute myself. You guys can chat.
I don't see the damn chat. Okay, guys, tell Grid I'm gonna have to head out because this little shit is gonna need some food. I need to go get some rice and chicken before Trader Joe's closes in 15. So I might be back on audio or after or not. Right, shithead? Yeah. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Enzo. Enzo, say hi. Enzo. Enzo. Say hi. He's like, fuck off. He's sassy. All right.
Well, that's perfectly awesome. When you get a call from your wife in the middle of the stream. So that was awesome. Um, my wife is very concerned about me because you guys may not know this, but I've been building a sunroom on the back of my house. It's almost done, and the contractor that I was using, it's gone MIA. Right? I act as my own contractor, but I have a subcontractor, and I had a project manager. The project manager who was handling all of the subcontractors, I don't know if the guy's in jail or what. I mean, I don't know where he is. He's gone. Doesn't exist. Doesn't answer his phone. No text. Nothing. So in my own true fashion, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. So I got all the stuff this weekend to do it myself because I'm fully capable of doing that. And my wife kind of freaked out about me being up on the scaffolding and the potential of falling off and breaking a hip or something because I'm old. I could break a hip. Is that what old people do? Break hips? I don't know. Anyway, so she doesn't want me to do it. So she is sending me a list of uh, she's sending me a list of contractors tomorrow to vet and see if they can get the job done and that sort of thing. So she's my my wife is very concerned about it. See, that's caring, concern, love, and all that stuff. My wife is awesome. What? So yeah. All right. Let me scroll up there and see what's happened since Jose left. AC fan. Yeah, all right. So we talked about some talk about got a lot of stuff. Talk a lot about the amendments. Yeah, okay. AC's right about that. Yeah. I missed some good stuff here, man. So that's pretty interesting. Jess, my cuz doesn't let her hubs put up Christmas lights. She says he's too dense, falls like a rock. Yeah, I don't. My wife's very concerned about me doing silly things because as many silly things as I've done, she's never actually had to witness very many of them. So she, she doesn't have she doesn't have the frame of reference of the reality of the situation, which is fine. I'm super super glad that she's she's caring and there's concern there. It's concern. It's great. I see Natalia there. Let's see. Natalia, you are here. How about that? Good deal. Good deal. Excellent. So what else are we going to talk about, guys? Are we anything cool, exciting, anything you guys want to beat like a dead horse? Could do that. I can actually see the roof of Randy's house exploding with Christmas lights. You see, uh, AC man, it's not ignorant to wonder about the amendments or the Constitution. The Constitution is an interesting document, and a lot of people in the U.S. do not actually understand it, and most have never read the Federalist Papers or any of the rest of the founding documents of the country, but they really act like they understand the law of the land. So you know that's that's it. Jess says, yeah, she doesn't want to deal with your downtime. You already use your sympathy card for your knee. There may be some truth to that because it really, really took a it really took a long time to heal from the last damage, and I'm just now getting. It's been a year, a little over a year, and I'm just now like truly back to where I'm really mobile and able to work out and get back into shape and stuff. And so that's Jess. She probably has a very legitimate concern about me doing something stupid, um, which I'm fully capable of. I still do consider myself indestructible, although I'm pushing the envelope on that. So, um, you know, I did tell her I was on stream like 3 times, and she just didn't seem to care very much. So I don't want you guys to get offended about that, but you know, it is what it is. Yes, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Federalist Papers. Most people have never read them, and they do not understand the relationship between the three. And the Federalist Papers are very interesting because they kind of spell out the thought processes behind the Constitution and the federal and the Bill of Rights. So what you can have most people only think about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but the Federalist Paper is the bridge in between. The Federalist Papers are the bridge in between the two, and it's really important. I mean, I think most people haven't read them, and I think I would strongly suggest that people do. I'm not going to even attempt at explaining them because I would suck at it, and I would just prefer not to do that. I like to be reasonably proficient. So I don't know if I said anything about this earlier, but tomorrow is a fly day. Weather is looking great for tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be nice and warm and sunny, and hopefully low wind. And what that means is I get to do a lot of landings, um, which means I get to really understand the aircraft that I'm flying, and which means I get to solo sooner. And the sooner I get to solo, the better off it is for me. Because I already soloed twice. I just, you know, get to do it again. Third time's a charm, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, good times for me. Yeah. I also don't think you're ignorant, AC. I think that, you know, you at least had the common sense enough to ask. But yeah, tomorrow is a fly day. We're going to do some good stuff and have some fun, fly around for a little bit. I was going to paint, but apparently I've been banned from painting my sunroom. And yeah, yeah, So what's funny is, Randy, that you're like quoting a song by a bunch of guys who died in an airplane crash. It's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, really appreciate that, Randy. It's good timing. So poor Jess had to leave. She's had a lot going on today. Or not Jess, Josie. I'm sorry, Josie. Josie had to leave. She's had a lot going on today. So hopefully she gets things sorted out. Feeling better. Been on almost 3 hours now. It's feeling like a pretty good time to call it a night for me. I've got to get up and do the dad thing again tomorrow. And really don't have a whole lot left to talk about tonight. I mean, there's always something, like the Trump trucker thing. I think that's pretty freaking funny. And then we could, then there's let's see, Freebird is a bittersweet song. My best friend. Yeah, a lot of people, I actually do like that song as well. It's not my favorite. But for sure, it's a bittersweet song, regardless, because again, the guys that sang it, were in an airplane crash. So, um, yeah, So let's see. Natalia, are you gonna be on the Friday extravaganza? Are you gonna be a panelist? Are we gonna get to finally hear your dulcet voice? The sweet dulcet tones? Yes, no, indifferent, not listening. Hmm. Oh well. All right, guys. Yeah, yeah. Funerals are really tough anyway. I mean, the I know Natalie. It's okay. I understand, sorta. Um, but you can see me. Look at me. I'm no fear, I guess. Uh, yeah, Josie sent me a message saying that she's pretty much down for the night. Um, and I am too. Actually, I'm getting pretty close to closing this thing out. You guys are egging me on. I really appreciate it because um I do enjoy the jabbering. But thanks, Natalie. Natalia. How do you say your name? Nat. I'm going with Natalia. Am I right? Is that right, Natalia? I mean, you got to wade through my southern accent, but is it pretty close? I mean, Jess is easy. I think I've known about a million Jesses. I mean, not a million, but Jess is easy. If only Jess were easy, she wouldn't have the problems she has. That's a joke. Don't throw things at me because that'll only hurt your monitor. All right. Yes, Jess, I got it. I got it. I got it. I have a southern accent. I understand. Thank you so much. Nobody hates being a Jess. You're just Jess. Just whatever. Jess. I don't know. I'm scruffy today too. You guys are getting treated to the Beardly version of me. This is about as much as it gets. AC, I actually kind of knew that because I think it showed up on something you sent me as Marco, and I was like, huh, I bet that his name is Marco. Yep, I got it. Jesse James, like the corn star. Ha 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 ha. You guys are fun. You guys are fun. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to close out the stream here. Um, I'm gonna probably get a shower and go to bed. Um, Randy, you should feel attacked. Feel like that's something that you probably bring on yourself. And you guys have a great evening. It's I'm glad that we got a chance to stream tonight. Again, don't normally stream on Mondays, but did tonight. And I'm sorry you had to sit through the dead air while I had to speak with my lovely wife. All right. Um, I would say the '07's in the chat, but it just doesn't carry the same weight that it does on But you guys are awesome. You guys have a great evening, and I'm going to end the stream here. You guys get some sleep or have a good day, whichever end of the world you're on. Little night, guys.